So what's up guys? Today we're going to go over my experience in going from a cut to a bulk, the mistakes I made and what to avoid when going from a cut to a bulk. That's pretty much the topic of this video. We're not really going to cover much else, just how to transition from a cut to a bulk and my experience and the mistakes I made and what you could avoid in the future if you're planning to bulk and you're going from a cut to a bulk. And I've seen some people in real life as well make these mistakes that are friends of mine. So anyways, let's get into the video itself. So first of all, let's just get into it. I have some training footage here just running in the background. So first of all, eating too much when you're transitioning from a cut to a bulk, and that's going to be like one of those pretty much the biggest problem you could make is, and I made this mistake myself, is just eating too much calories. And what that's gonna do for you is pretty much you're going to gain weight too fast. So let's say for my first bulk I was like 80 kilos or so, and I ended up in the situation where I was basically eating like, I went from like 2,200 calories to 3,000, so I increased my calories quite tremendously. Not a huge issue, but quite a large surplus to start with from the amount of calories I was eating. I should have increased maybe to 2,600 first and just gone with that for a while. I should have increased by like 800 calories straight away, and then I started increasing my calories like pretty much 300, 300 and 300 after that. So that's just like eating too much. It's just going to lead to massive weight gain, which is not gonna grant you any muscle, and it's just going to get you really fat, and you're gonna lose your aesthetics. So you're gonna lose your abs, you're gonna lose your face aesthetics, if you care about your face aesthetics at all. I would say most people do at the end of the day. And if you're in self-improvement, you most likely do care about how you look. And that's like the number one reasons you want to avoid eating too much. Just like you're gonna lose your aesthetics and you're gonna gain a bunch of weight that doesn't really do anything for you, and it's just gonna go into the next topic, illusion of progress. So by increasing the calories, you're gonna have this illusion of progress that the weight is going up on the bar, you're doing more on every exercise, and you think you're getting muscle, and you see that you're kind of getting bigger, but in reality it's just fat surrounding your muscles making you look bigger. So it's not the actual muscle that you're building, especially if it's just in a couple of months, you're not really building it that much. And that's going to be the main reasons to avoid eating too much. Now, this kind of ties into just eating clean as well. Like, you have to eat clean on your bulks if you really want to maintain a good lean bulk, because if like, this is pretty much the eating clean versus like a dirty bulk. Like, a dirty bulk is where you eat anything, whatever, and don't care about any macros or anything like that. What I noticed that most of all, when you eat a clean lean bulk, the number one difference it makes is you're basically going to be able to achieve this sense of state where you can stay pretty lean throughout the whole bulk, because you're eating clean. I find you stay way leaner and you're less bloated, and your face looks better, your body looks better, your abs still pop out even though you're bulky and gaining weight. And that's the number one thing. Even when I went to like 95 kilos, I still, even though the bulk went really fast, I still made a lot of good gains and stayed fairly lean and with visible abs to an extent, even at 95 kilos to an extent. Like, it's still gonna go away, but you know, like because the bulk was lean, it was doing pretty good for me. So that was helping me a lot. It's just eating clean. I do think it makes a huge difference for your overall aesthetics, eating clean versus dirty foods. And obviously you're gonna get the micronutrients you need and everything else like that you need for your bulk and overall health. So that's something to take in mind when you're transitioning from a cut to a bulk. Unless you just want to do a dirty bulk, you can, but I don't recommend it even for like beginners or people who are skinny. It doesn't make sense. You can try it if it works for you, but I don't think it's worth it because there's just too many negatives to it. Now, not enough cardio daily. This is something I did on my first bulk that I made a mistake on. I pretty much stopped doing cardio for the most part. I just walked to the gym and back. That was my cardio. I mean, still like a good amount of steps, but I still missed out on a lot of cardio, and that keeps you even more lean and you're gonna be able to eat more to an extent. If you're a guy like me who gains weight very fast, easily, doing cardio actually helps on the bulk because it's gonna allow you to eat a bit more, and it's going to allow you to stay leaner throughout the whole bulk. So that's something I would definitely do, because if you don't do any cardio, you end up gaining weight really fast, especially if you like eating. If you don't like eating, then you can probably mess around with the cardio, but I still think cardio is useful. It's good for your heart, and it's good to do daily for overall health. Definitely a good thing to do. I don't think you should neglect cardio regardless of who you are and what your genetics are. Now, another point is not training hard enough and increasing volume/intensity. So this is something I would say I did not make a mistake on. I actually did increase my volume and intensity quite high. I've always been a guy who trains very hard and does a lot of volume and intensity. So that's never really been a problem for me personally. Sometimes I train a bit too hard even, but that's kind of the way I am. But anyways, if you don't overall, like at the start of the bulk, you can still take it pretty easy, but once you start increasing calories and so on more, you want to start increasing your volume/intensity as much as possible. Because if you don't increase your volume/intensity over time as you increase your calories, you're going to just end up not making as many gains as you could be making, and you're leaving a lot of gains on the table, and you're not taking advantage of your bulk as much as you could be taking advantage of your bulk. And that whole and overall, in conclusion, I would say just it's important to keep all these things in mind. I do think applying all of these little things in your training is going to make a massive difference for your transition from a cut to a bulk, and just maintaining a good bulk and making a lot of progress and keeping these in mind. Now, if I were to add something small, it would also be just your training program and that you're applying from a cut to a bulk. I think those need to be a little bit different. I think transition from a bulk to a cut, you do need to keep the training to an extent the same, but obviously you need to vary things. As I said, like I do think cutting and bulking programs can be a bit different, especially because of the volume and intensity and so on. So you do need to keep those in mind. But overall, I would say all these things definitely make a big difference. It adds up. Doing all these small things adds up, and then I notice my bulk goes way better, and the transition is way better as well. And you just stay leaner, and you look bigger and everything. And you're going to stay leaner way longer when you apply all of these things compared to if you were doing all these mistakes. I didn't make all of these mistakes that I mentioned in here. Mostly for me it was eating too much, so increasing calories. I was eating clean. I didn't do enough cardio personally, and training wasn't really a problem for me, so I made some small mistakes, but I would say the biggest mistake is eating too much. I guess that's going to make the biggest difference. Yeah, overall, but these small other things can counter this increase of calories as well, like doing the cardio and so on, to keep you leaner even if you end up eating too much. So that's pretty much my tips on this subject. If you have any comments, questions, maybe ideas, leave them below. And I hope you enjoyed the video and got something out of it, maybe something new. And I hope you guys have a good one. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for watching.